Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy CT One Time, Chef CT One Time, and I'm back with another video. This time I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make some Tennessee hot chicken. Alright, this recipe is gonna be really spicy. We're gonna have some complexity to it. I got some fresh vegetable oil. The chicken is in the sink thawing out right now. But you guys stay tuned and I'm gonna show you guys how to fry it up. See you in a little bit. Alright guys, I got some flour in the bowl. Now I'm about to throw in a little salt and pepper, not too much. Just want to wake it up a little bit. A little bit of salt, a little bit of this pepper, maybe a lot of bit of pepper. And then we throw in a little bit of paprika. I'm gonna get it in there kind of early. Just give it a little bit of color on that crust. There we go. We're gonna come back and use some more of this in a little bit. There we make that hot oil to submerge that crispy chicken in. Alright guys, so I'm gonna make sure I get this nice and mixed up. Next thing up, what I'm gonna do is get this egg in here, and I'm gonna combine some hot sauce with that, and that'll be our liquid component to get the chicken wet, and then throw it into the dry in order to get that nice crispy golden crust on there. So I'm gonna get this egg and hot sauce mixture going, and then once this chicken finishes thawing out, we get it in and out in the fryer, get you guys rolling. Alright guys, I got my eggs cracked. My hot sauce of choice is Cholula. Typically they recommend Louisiana hot sauce, something along those lines, but this is what I had. I'm doing this kind of impromptu. Typically you would want to use buttermilk and soak it for a few hours, but like I said, I just kind of got up and was like, I want some fried chicken, so here I am. And we're going to put a generous amount in there because we want, and this is supposed to be hot, so in fact we can put a little bit more. There we go. Alright guys, I think this chicken is almost thawed out. We're going to dip it in here, dip it in there, and give this a good whisk and get this oil hot. Alright guys, an important teaching point here. Since my chicken was thawing out, and I had it thawing out in some cool water, since I'm frying, it's important to know, for those of you that don't already know, you do not mix oil and water. Okay, oil and water do not mix. So it's important to get this chicken as dry as possible, because if it is too wet, that hot oil will cause a fire. Alright, and that brings me to my next teaching point. If you did, for some reason, start a grease fire, what do you not do? Let's put water on it, okay? I learned that when I was little. I won't tell you the story to save my mom the embarrassment. But anyways, don't put water on a grease fire, okay? Now, what should you do if you get a grease fire? Cover it, okay? If the fire is made with oxygen, if it doesn't have oxygen, then it won't last. And if for some reason you don't see the lid to your pot, you can put flour on it, and flour will stop the fire. Alright, so that's a little teaching point that I wanted to get by you guys. Kitchen safety is just as important as making sure it tastes good. Here we go guys, we're getting it in there. I'm a fan of Bun B, his little cooking show. I once heard him say you gotta dip that thing and flip that thing. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that's coated in the egg and hot sauce mixture. We're gonna throw it in here with the flour, and I'll just kind of close the lid, and then I'll just shake it up, make it easy on myself. But if you prefer to just manually do it, go right ahead. You might have to do that anyways to make sure that it all gets coated. Make sure that's soaking all that egg and hot sauce up. And this is gonna be hot. It's called Tennessee hot chicken. We're gonna make sure it's hot. Alright guys, I'm about to give this a mix, and I'll show you what it looks like right before we put it in the fryer. I actually have the oil getting hot right now. Alright guys, it's important to make sure you got everything ready ahead of time. I got a little sheet, that way whenever I take the chicken out of the hot oil, I can put it in the oven. As you got it on 200, you're just gonna keep it warm. So here it goes right here. Now, one thing to do to test it, by the way, I have the heat on medium high. Okay, one thing to do to test it, now I know I just gave you a whole lesson on not mixing water and oil, but what you can do is just wet your fingers, get a little drop of water in there, and see how it starts popping? All right, so obviously that's not enough water to cause a fire, but you just put a little drop in there and you see it start popping. Now you know it's hot enough to fry. Okay, and the thing is, they say you want to get your oil to about 350. I don't have a thermometer, so that's why I use this method. If you have a deep fryer and it has temperature settings on there, that's even better actually. But now that I know this grease is popping right, what I'll do is I'll just put one chicken strip in there just to test it out. Once I see that the cooking process is how I want it to go, then I can put the rest of them in there. All right, so if you see, we got it evenly coated. It's gonna be nice and crispy. We're about to get that in there. Yeah, that oil probably could have been a little bit hotter. Alright guys, we're gonna let this do its thing. Probably turn it over a couple times and then I'll come back to you to see the progress. Alright guys, this chicken has been frying for a few minutes now. And as you can see, it's gotten nice and golden brown, it's gotten crispy. You can see that hot sauce in there right there. So one thing to point out, since this was the only piece of chicken in the pot, I was doing it as my tester. You can hear it, it's nice and crispy. If you put more in there, obviously the temperature is going to drop, so it's going to take longer for it to heat up. It's going to take longer for it to cook. So the more you have in there, you got to be careful. You don't want that oil temperature to get too low. So now that you see that, that's how that came out. I'm actually going to open this up just to make sure it looks good on the inside. Let's see. Oh yeah, and you can see that meat is still juicy. It's gonna be hot. Look at that smoke coming out of there. You can see that meat is cooked all the way through, but it's still tender. So, with that being said, we will put the rest of our chicken in there. Guys, I gave some time for my oil to heat back up. We got this coated well. We got it in all the crevices there. I had to go through and make sure it was in there. You just want to make sure you get all that flour in there. That way there's no bald spots in there. Alright guys, we're going to put the rest of our chicken in here now. We're going to be gentle with it. Oh yeah. See that grease popping? Yes sir. Shake that excess off. That chicken in that frying grease. Oh, see? Got a little bit of there. You don't want to see nothing left. Make sure you get all of it. That's good enough. Here we go. One thing I want to point out, let every piece of chicken do its own thing, alright? If one is ready to come out and the other isn't, let it stay in there. You can take them out as you need to. I have my one piece of chicken that I made in the oven actually, and that's gonna stay warm for us while we finish cooking the rest of this. And then we will make our hot oil mixture, which makes it Tennessee hot chicken. I actually went to Memphis not long ago and went to Hattie B's hot chicken. Might have been some of the best chicken I ever had. Don't tell my grandmother. Hopefully she doesn't. Uh-oh, that grease popping, boy. Woo, that grease hot. Alright guys, we're gonna let this roll. It's probably gonna take some 10 minutes or so, 15 maybe a little bit less. I'll check it. I got my tongs here so I can pick it up and look at it, make sure it look alright. And I'll get back to you guys in just a second. Alright guys, I just want to show you the progress that this chicken is making. It's been in there for a few minutes. We're obviously going to let it stay in there a little bit longer. We want it nice and golden brown, get some pretty color to it. I once went into a restaurant and said good fried chicken takes time, so you got to be patient with it, alright? Let it cook thoroughly, inside and outside. Play with it a little bit, just check on it, make sure it's doing alright. But for the most part, you just want to leave it alone, be patient with it, let it do its thing, alright? I'll be back in a second, guys. Alright, guys. Next up is the fun part. Key ingredient in that Tennessee hot chicken Boom. Cayenne pepper, and a lot of it, all right? It's supposed to be hot, so we're gonna make sure it's hot. We're gonna put a lot in there. There we go, that's good there. Paprika. And a lot of it. Chili powder. And you guessed it, a decent amount of it. Throw in some onion powder. Give it a nice little Some more black pepper. All right, and then we'll throw in just a little bit of salt for good measure. Not too much, just the salt to wake it up a little bit. All right, guys, we got that in there. Now, this is what you do. We got our oil over here and it's still hot, okay? So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take our spoon, we're gonna scoop some of that hot oil out and put it into our spice blend. Let me get this closer to it so I can make sure I'm not wasting none. All right, and we're gonna get a decent amount of it. Make sure you don't get no chicken, no batter bits in there. And you see that grease is bubbling already. Get some more of that. A little bit more. You want a decent amount. There we go. And it should almost kind of paste up a little bit. You don't want to put too much in there because then you know, dilute it a little bit. Oh yeah, you see that? That's how it's supposed to look, guys. And that's probably enough right there. So what we'll do, since this oil is hot, we don't have to let it combine for too long. We'll probably just put it on medium heat. Let it just kind of simmer, come together a little bit, and then we'll bathe that chicken in this grease. Be back in a second. All right, guys, I took my chicken out the oven. I put it in this bowl. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give this oil mixture a little stir, just to make sure all the seasoning and the oil is combined. Let's put this thing up. All right, guys, and then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna let it bathe in it, just like that. Don't need too much. And then from there, make sure it's all completely coated in there. And let it bathe in it. The chicken gonna take a bath tonight. There we go. Alright. Get this nice and coated. And that oil is hot because we took it straight out of the fryer as soon as we finished frying, so I'm gonna make sure that it's nice and coated. I don't know about you, what you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. We're gonna cut it open and see what it's like. All right, guys, let's check this thing out. So I did put some bread underneath it. The idea is that it just kind of captures up some of that hot oil, and then you can eat that later. So I sprinkled a little bit more hot oil on top of it, and then I also threw a little bit of honey on top, just to give it another dimension of flavor. And as you can see, that chicken is juicy, moist. Let's see. Guys, that's good stuff right there. That's real good stuff. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's your boy CT One Time, Chef CT One Time. This was Tennessee hot chicken. Now you guys can go make this at your next party, event, anything like that. Show off in front of some friends. I'll see you guys next time.